Okay, let's go live.
Should we begin? There's some technical issues, so inshallah, but Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulil karim, amma ba'd, rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Last week we initiated the basis of counseling. What we were, and this week we are going to continue on that a little bit. Plus, also we are going to talk about the differences between the marriage counseling and the premarital counseling. We'll talk about that a little bit, and because the whole premise is different, completely different. And I want to relate to that. Then we'll go into the spousal selection, because many of the young people who come in and they ask, how, who, what the processes are of selection, spouses and whatnot. We'll also talk about some of the techniques that I use in order, for example, to set the ground rules. Okay? So those are some of the things that we're going to cover. We'll see, and then we'll go into, inshallah, some of the Islamic perspective of marriage, what Quran says, what Hadith says, why. I'm not sure. I don't remember if I covered some of it or not. Last week we'll talk about it, and then we'll go see how far we go today. So this will be our, once again, as I said before, last week we had it a little bit interactive, not as much. We will cut that down a little bit more because the sisters were saying that they want to know our perspective or the perspective of what the statistics are or what the things are more than interaction. I respect that, and that's what we'll go by. Is that okay? So that's what we'll do. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Let me hand out some of these to everybody. Unfortunately, because can I take one and hand it out, please? Give it. All right. What this thing I use, I get the couple who comes to me or the people, because there's usually when people come to me, there are two parties involved, right? I get them to read all of this to set the ground rule. And this is what we have designed it, and it's a standard thing. It's nothing special on me. Oh, yeah, mashallah, it's all there. All right. Let me open up this. It'll be easier. Can we move the computer up here so that I can? Or
It won't go that far. Yeah, we have to, because it's plugged up to the projector.
section 2. Apologize. All right. So, yes, good. Do that. So, this is our first step, okay? Putting our clients at ease. I'm going to talk about this, what I've given you in a minute also. Okay, how do we do that? We use professionalism. What do I mean by professionalism? What do you think? You see, if a couple comes to you, I'll tell you one incident that happened, and it has happened many times, because I do anger management also. There's one client who came to me with his spouse, right away, right the first moment, started to show anger. I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. That's it. No compromise, nothing. How do you handle such a? What do you do? Right away, I said, we're going to stop here. You take a break, go drink a glass of water, come back. Can you do that? And very, very nicely. I wanted to make sure if they're coming to me, then I am in charge. They're not going to push but that's the goal. They want me to agree to whatever their motives are. But that's not what our goal should be, right? Still came back, same thing. Right. I said, we're going to shut the session. When you're ready, calm down, go for a walk, go do whatever you want to do. Come back. If you're ready, call me. That's what happened right after that. Came back and realized what it was. And I said, did you read and did you sign? I have your signature on this page of ground rules. Did you read it? I signed it. Don't you see my signature? I said, yeah, but this is what it's saying. Extend respect in every aspect to everyone involved in the process. Absolutely no yelling, shouting, or foul language. This is what it is doing. Please make sure your voices are audible. When one person is at a high pitch, what happens to the second one?
They do the same.
Okay? Sometimes what happens, we say when the other person is not saying yes, we say they're in agreement. It happens in marriages also when the bride does not say yes audibly. Because she's saying nothing, that means agreement. That's not Islamic, by the way. The witnesses have got to hear. The imam has got to hear. The wali has got to hear. So it has to be everybody equal participation. That's what we aim for. And need to set the tone right off the bat that everyone has got to speak freely. Should be no intimidation whatsoever. Actually, that's the reason why, although I do my counseling on Skype, but I insist on video conferencing. They have to be, because what happens, one of the partners, non-verbally, yesterday we showed the picture of last week, right? Non-verbal. Well, if they look at the other person in a negative way, oh, I don't want to create problems at home, this session is going to last, then what happens? So all of these we need to make sure we understand. And sometimes what happens, if they are excited about the thing, everybody try to talk at the same time, both of them. One at a time. Listening is critical. We want to emphasize that listening is part of communication. Can't talk. If everybody talks, then who listens? Nobody listens. And so you gotta One of the key things that I insist upon, you can challenge ideas, you can challenge situations, you can challenge whatever, but you cannot challenge and you cannot downgrade the person. I insist on that. You are always wrong. You are this. You are. Don't you understand? I've been telling you all my life, but you cannot understand a simple language, the you sentences. Part of it. That's all. So all of those are important. Now, you remember I talked about the dua from Prophet Musa last week? Our trust should be in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We cannot be the judge, we cannot be the, we need to trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And of course, us being non-profit, and this is one of the things, we make sure that we do not handle situations that are in litigation. This is our goal. We cannot be put to that. We are a very small organization, so I make sure that we insist that we're not going to go into litigation in any shape or form. I'll tell you one thing that happened with me. It was in Virginia. I was a translator for one of the claimants, or one of the persons. And because of the language, it was sister, and I thought, so they asked me to come to translate. And that day, literally, I regret. Why? If I tell you the story, it was very shameful. Married, 3 children, and went in there, and she understood English better than myself. But she was pretending that she does not in the court. She was correcting me, translating, she was correcting me. And she, subhanAllah, astaghfirullah al-azim, married 3 children, had a boyfriend, I was doing all sort of, and her argument was, this man is a fanatic. Why he is a fanatic? Because he goes to the masjid every day. Pray. And the judge actually ruled that he was not supposed to pray in front of his children. She said she is a Muslim. No. Because that's where she started. So what I'm saying is litigation is something where you and me and people like us who do not understand you get very frustrated. It's the lawyers that play the game over there, and it's very sad. This is her lawyer prepared her for that just to win the case, and she did. She did, and I was very sad. I said to myself, never again am I going to fall into that thing. So litigation is one of the things, and of course we are a non-profit organization. If you're doing it for the masjid or for anything, you don't want to get tangled into litigation process because they are many very messy.
Brother,
Yes.
I think most of the sisters might not know what litigation means. Litigation like a court, because I can see.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So litigation means like a lawsuit, like something dragged into the court, because then it comes into lawyers, and then they have their own games, and they have their own, how to get to something. That's out of what we're talking. I think it's what the brother was saying.
All right. So your first goal is to put your clients at ease. Professional. Yes. They read it and they sign it. This is on my website. I ask them when they come to me, the process that I use is and it's my process, okay? You can do it. You see, when a couple comes to you and say we want counseling, okay? And how are they communicating with you verbally? The couple, before I have learned this thing, instead of verbally, I ask them a few things before. They start from here. They start with putting their name, their whatever it is, on the form. And I think I shared that form with you. Then I ask them separately to send me a written list of issues that they would like to discuss. And if I have questions, because when I match the two, there are two sides of the coin all the time. And inshallah, in the last session, this is what we are planning on doing. I'll be sharing some of the case studies with you guys. Okay, not from the original, not from those, but case studies that are mixed with many cases. So that's how I prepared them. So we'll be sharing that with you folks, and you guys will help. We'll discuss it together. That will be the last session. So we'll spend the whole session on that. Okay. So what happens is I ask them to, and if I have questions, I ask clarifying questions. And believe me, for 2 paragraphs, what happens when people write? What do you think of it? As compared to say? More details. They concentrate more. They know what is going in writing. See, when you're talking, your tongue goes faster than your brain. Okay? It's said that men can say 8,000 words a day very quickly. Women can say a lot more than that because Allah has given them that quality. So the thing is, you can say much more. And then when you confront them, this is what you said, they say, I didn't say that, or I didn't mean it. Right? But when it's in writing, it's different. That's how I have learned to do it. And one other thing is my clients are all over the world, so it's better. So putting things in writing, but sometimes it does not work when you're doing things, counseling, like in emergent environment. So do not insist upon it. Okay? But something like that, I think, is a very good document. Actually, many of the other counselors have come to me and say, can we use your thing? Anybody can use it because if it's good for the ummah, why not? Okay? Professionalism. Let's talk about it. When people go into the imam's office, what do they see in the imam? The dress, the thobe that they wear, the cap that they wear, what impression do they give? If they see an imam in ragged jeans or t-shirt, would it have the same impression? No. Same person, same knowledge, right? But this is the difference. So when you present yourself that you are professional, that you are knowledgeable, that you have the communication skills, that you have the right approach. Approach is very important, and I'm going to spend some time on it. Okay, how to approach it, because it's critical. I talk about who's in charge, the perception. Believe me, many of the brothers or sisters will come and they will try to, I hate to use the word manipulate, but when you are in a divorce proceeding, when you are in issues, they do that. It's natural. You have to be careful about that. And Availability is something that, are you going to do it at your own time, or are you going to be considerate of the time and the emergency of the situation? You know, this is something I get calls during the day and during the night. Okay? You have to be careful. You don't want to overstretch it because people might take advantage. So availability is very critical, very important. Okay? And of course, the last and the most important thing is you want to, even if you know and your heart is telling you who's right, who's wrong, if you are in the position of counseling or you want to help the couple, you're helping both of them. You're helping the family. You're not helping one against the other. If you do that, and then you are in a different league. You don't want to be. At least I don't want to be. Okay? So this is all, and the last thing is empowerment. What do I mean by that? Do you think I can be there in their home all the time, protecting them? I teach people skills. Skills of conflict resolution, skills of communication, skills of building trust. Those are all skills that can be developed. This is what I emphasize on. When people come to me saying, this is what our issue is, I do not give them the solution, because I want them to come up with a solution that they would hold up to. So I empower them. This is important. All right, approach. I said we're going to talk about approach. So, what's the difference between no lecture? What do you mean by that? I'll tell you what happened. At one time, this new sister became Muslim. And this is a very sad story that I'm going to tell you. I used to live in Winnipeg. How many know where Winnipeg is? In Canada. It's very, very cold place up in the north. Very above Minnesota. Okay? But 500 to 1,000 miles above Minneapolis. Minneapolis is very cold. Okay? The sister became a Muslim. Her parents found out. They were very staunch Catholics. They literally beat her up. She came at the doorstep of the masjid, asking for help. Guess what? The Imam did. Imam brought her in, lectured her for 2 hours, sent her back home with a brother in the middle of the night. With a brother in the middle of the night. Guess what happened to that sister? Very sad. Was that the time to lecture? Or was that there's always a proper time for everything? When people come to you for counseling, and you know, especially happens when you are counseling young children. You start lecturing them, and they'll just shut you off like you would not believe. They might sit there, but they'll be twiddling their thumb or playing with their phones or whatever they want to do. That's what they do. So no lecture, very important. Huh? For that lady, she was brought back home. She stayed there, standing outside her home all night. By Fajr time, she called one of the family. They came, pick her up, took her home, and she never went back to her parents. Very sad. And she stopped coming to the masjid also. And we were only one masjid in that city at that time. So, just something, especially when you're dealing with young people, especially. Look at Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Look at him. When we all know, and I apologize for using this example, but this is one of the examples that I sometimes is coming to my mind. You remember that person who came to to the masjid and start urinating in the masjid. Everybody got upset. What did he do? Calm down. Let him finish. Then taught him how to cleanse the place and taught him this is the place of worship. He used that as an opportunity to teach, as an opportunity to correct. This is what we should be doing. All right? Make them feel easy. Once you put somebody at ease, they would open up. If you don't, what happens? They shut down. They shut down. That brother that I was talking to you, by the way, that brother called me regularly now because I did not offend him or attack his personality. I just talked about the issue, the behavior. That's what I addressed, not talk about him. I empowered him to overcome, and he's still. So putting people at ease is very critical, very important.
Brother Khalid?
Yes.
One of our Facebook Live people that are viewing, they said about the lectures, it's so true because lectures are not productive in these type of situations, and it needs to be interactive, like talking to have a chance to work in counseling.
Great. So, thank you.
Sister Dana.
You are there to mediate. We talked about mediation and arbitration last time. Remember? Remember? Arbitration is totally different. Parents sometimes try to arbitrate between their children. It's their role. But we, as an outsider, we would like to mediate. So we don't want to impose. We can suggest. We can, and suggest it in a convincing way, and that's the key. And that's where the knowledge comes in. That's where your communication skills come in. That's where all the other things come in. And of course, if they come up with alternatives, when is it when you need to do alternatives? What do you think? Sometimes we are in America, okay? We are in America, right? We are governed by the local laws, all right? We are come from our, if there is one of the party born here, another party born somewhere else, maybe in Pakistan, India, Middle East, wherever, two different cultures. For what is norm over there is not norm over here. So you're not there to impose. You have to draw and say, because wallahi, if you look at it, there are alternatives to everything. Sometimes you give a little, take a little. Sometimes you go around and many a times it has happened, some of the issues which are major, because they're not ready to adopt it, they're not ready to accept it. I said, well, let's wait. Let's drop it off, go to something much easier that will be agreeable. Once they start to agree, then they come to that and they are able to tackle the serious issues. Make sense? All right. And of course, providing resources is critical, it's important. What do I mean by resources? Remember, sometimes telling them if they have questions about fiqh issues. I usually, alhamdulillah, I know, even if I know the answer, I tell them, I'm not a faqih, I'll refer you to somebody who's of more knowledge, who have although I know the answer.
Why you do that?
because this way they feel empowered that they are going and finding from the right source. Sometimes, you see, when Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam came after the first wahi to Khadija, she said, let's go find the answer from somebody who knows. Right? So why not? Many a times, I do not have the answers. So, but instead of just faking it, instead of just, I'm very honest and straightforward, and that's the best approach. That you'll get more respect if you say, let me give you the resource. For example, the other day we talked about, was it here or another course that I'm doing, about marital contract. And it was a course that I'm doing elsewhere. And they said, well, give us some example. I've done marital contracts with people before. I've suggested them. But then there's a very excellent book by Sister Hidayah from England on marital contract and agreements. So why not refer it to? There's a beautiful book on marriages, by different people. Why not refer to it? Because that's how people feel empowered. So this is my way, okay? What do we use? Of course, Quran and Hadith. We use sciences. We role play scenarios. All the techniques that are there, we use them all. Okay? And inshallah, do you want me to send everybody a copy of this? I'll email it to everybody. I can do it.
Printed and now we can just add things.
I'll do that. I apologize. I wish you folks would have asked and I could have. I will do that. I understand. I'll email it to everybody, inshallah. And then from there, I understand. Yeah, just give me a copy and inshallah I will. Does everybody have their emails on there?
Then we print it out and you come here, we can add all the...
Please do whatever you wish to do. All right. What are some of the major marital issues? What do you think?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
What are some of the major marital issues? What do you think?
In-laws, money. In-laws and money.
In-laws, money. What else?
Role description.
Pardon me?
Role definition and description.
Role definition. Very good. Excellent. What else?
One of the parties try to control or be in charge.
Control. Okay. Number one issue,
Communication.
anger. Number one issue. I'm talking about Muslim marriages now. Okay, among Muslims.
Abuse, emotional abuse on the
Well, that's part of it. Domestic violence, part of it. Okay? There are 5 major issues that there are many, no question about it, but I just want to talk about 5. Number 1 is anger, in-laws, yes. Finance, yes. The other one is wrongful acts, what I say. Unfortunately, I apologize to use that, but it's a reality that pornography is very, very sadly prevalent among Muslims, both boys and girls, but mainly men, but sisters. And I have done, and unfortunately, our imams don't talk about it. Nobody talks about it. I've done 3 years of research on it. Very sad. Very, very sad. If I tell you the stories, it's horrific. And finance, not that much, but it is. And then the roles or compatibility of it. That's important. Okay? So, all of those you know, if the wife or the husband sees something wrong on either the cell phone or on the laptop, what affects? It affects the trust, right? It affects the communication, right? So, can I do a quick
Survey.
exercise? All right. Let me ask. Do you get angry, sister?
Sadly, yes.
You do. What
I do.
happens then?
Well, I know my cycle. Like I'll get angry, then I can't think.
You can't.
But
then
recently, yeah, then it just escalates.
And then what happens?
And then you feel guilty.
When you say
When you find
escalate, what happens?
Your brain starts pulling other incidents.
The voice changes.
Yeah, voice goes. The
Sometimes
tone.
you use words which are
The tone.
maybe
it's
the
not very
tone,
nice.
right?
Confessions.
Right? And
Yeah. Then you just you lose the point.
you lose the point.
You're off track.
Isn't that true?
You're all over the place.
Isn't that true? It has what comes out of your tongue has an effect on the heart. You can beat somebody up, it'll heal. What you say from the tongue will remember in people's mind in the past. Very important. Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, there are two things that will take you to Jahannam. Watch out for them. And he held his tongue. That was one of them. Okay. So,
The other thing.
it's your private parts. So, which is another issue, big issue. So, well, the last one, we do a separate session on interrelation, intercultural and interracial and religious marriages and whatnot. Or we do another one on marriages of divorcees and parents with children, or one parent with children who brings them to the marriage, how to handle that, how to tackle that. So, let's say the father was married before, have one or two children, so he's marrying somebody else. So, step parent.
This is what I mean by the lack of interrelation.
Pardon me?
You're talking about the last point?
Yeah. Well, all right. Any questions so far? So, premarital counseling. I just wanted to distinguish between marriage counseling and premarital. I think it's very important. And we are, I want to push for more for premarital counseling. This is my goal. This is what my desire is. That's what I like doing. That's what I spend the time on. Although there are, yes.
I just wanted to make an addendum to what I said. But I've learned how to separate issue from person. So I no longer say, you do this and you do that. I go, the issue is, and this is what I can't deal with, and it's helped a lot.
This is critical. This is very important.
Yeah. That's
Change from you sentences to I sentences.
It's hard to
Very important.
it's very,
Thank you, sister. I didn't want to put you on the spot. I apologize for that.
no, it's okay.
But this is what I do. When a couple comes to me, those who have married children, the parents never ask the question that they should be asking to the potential boy or to the girl. Never. Anger, big issue. Habits, big issue. Who are your friends? Who do you hang out with? How do you spend your time? Bad habits. Everybody has bad habits. Like it or not. Some more than the others.
Honest, they would say like they have bad habits.
At least you
Something.
You
start
highlight it.
the dialogue. You see, in the back of the mind, it comes out. And you don't put it you know, like putting people on the spot. That's not how you do it. There's one marriage, for example, I asked, oh, you live in this city. I know in this part of the city. I know the imam there. Can I ask him about you? And the brother got very angry because he never goes to the masjid. Like, but he didn't say it at that point, and he didn't. But these are some, the ways the things come out. You know, you're not putting the person on the spot, but you ask them in the other. You know, and there are techniques that is used. All right, premarital counseling, very important. It's a skill development. It's a skill that you learn. All of this. Communication is a skill that you can develop. Okay? Building trust is a skill that you can develop. What you call the conflict resolution is a skill. All of this. That's needed in marriage. Right? Very cool statement by Yasser Khalid, a good friend of mine. Imam Yasser Khalid. You know, sometimes you say successful marriages, and you can, you need to want to live with a person happily. No, success marriage when you can't live with the person without the person even for a minute. I want to rush back home to my wife. I want.
Let me answer this question because my daughter, she keep asking me this all the time. Is there a perfect marriage? Is there just something like that we describe always? Like,
Let me ask this question, and I use this all the time. I ask this all the time. Look at my fingers. Are they all the same size? Why not? Because everyone has got their own function. Similarly, Allah created man and woman different. Totally different. The fun is not, if a perfect marriage, how would you define a perfect marriage? If I am the man, and if my wife always say, yes dear, yes dear, yes dear, all the time, that would be boring. Would it not? When she comes and says, no, let's do things this way, I disagree. No, sister, this is life. This is the reality, sister. Is that not true? Of course they are. I'm not taking that away. But the sister said, ask, is there an ideal marriage, a successful marriage? It depends upon how you define success. For me, let me ask this question. I'm going to put this question. It's not in the... What do you think is the perfect spouse for somebody? If somebody is looking for a spouse, what do you think? What do you look for? Pardon me? Religion. What else? Pardon me? Ethics.
Compassion
Good.
and
We're
maturity.
going to talk about all of these.
Compassion and
I
maturity.
did not hear the question.
The question is, what is an ideal spouse for a boy or a girl? What do you think?
The morals.
Good morals. Very good. It is.
Compassion and maturity.
Huh?
Compassion and maturity.
Compassion and maturity. Very good. Excellent answers. Yes.
Sister Dana said Deen, integrity, character, mental stability.
Excellent. Thank you, Sister Dana. So then Dana, by the way, is from Pennsylvania. May Allah bless her.
She's joining
That's right.
us. Yeah, she's joining us Facebook Live. Sister, you're from Pennsylvania.
So, let me share this thing with you. This is what I teach, at least, this is my philosophy. It's not anywhere else. It's my philosophy. This is what I taught to my own children. Find a spouse for yourself who will be a good father for a good mother to your children. Does that not encompass everything? What you folks said. Would you agree? You're looking future. You're looking far. Good moral character, good integrity, religion, all of those. Attitude, all of it. You show that who is a good model father or mother to your children. By the way, mothers, mashallah, they are the best, no question about it. Fathers need some work to do.
Yeah, because they are
Okay. Prevention, not intervention. What do we mean by that? When do you prevent? What do you mean by prevention and what do you mean by intervention? Pardon me?
Trying to prevent the problem instead of solving it.
Okay. That is pre-marital. You are looking and training people for the future. Intervention is marriage issue. They have issues, they want to come and intervene. Somebody to intervene because they cannot handle it anymore. And there are, so this is by Markham and Halwig. Halwig, I can't pronounce it. Can somebody?
Halwig.
Halwig.
Markham and Halwig.
The second
Edge
page
is
is
silent.
yeah, the second page is silent.
Okay. Anyway. Why are we behind in premarital counseling? Do you know every church goes through that? Every synagogue, it says. How many masajid have that we are not going to marry until the young people go through premarital counseling? Very, very few. My masjid in Virginia, where I was, we implemented that. Did not, and that counseling was not for half an hour or 1 hour. People come to the imam. Imam is busy. They have tons of other things to do. They sit down and they talk about this is what the Quran says, this is what the Hadith says, this is what very important, very basic. But the skills, somebody needs to talk about them. Okay? So this word is important. So back home, when I got married, and by the way, I was here, so I didn't get the opportunity, but my wife did, alhamdulillah. And back home, what happened? It was done in a very natural way. Parents, grandparents, uncles, aunts, elder brothers, elder sisters, everybody would come in and say a little thing here, a little thing there, a little thing there. Is that same thing over here? No. Where are the kids learning from? Internet, TV, friends, in the hallways. In grade 5, they started to teach the sex education without morals. I never allowed my children to go. Why? Because I feel that's my role and my wife's role. And she did a wonderful job on that, teaching the children. So what is happening now? My children, even now, they are married, they have their own children, they come to us when they have issues. And everybody has issues. So, inshallah. Okay. Counseling itself is a very negative word in our culture. It's extremely negative. What do? We call it a premarital course. I think that's a little more acceptable than counseling. That's what I do.
I don't think that anyone in Michigan teaches what the pre-marital
There are many.
course.
There are many and very good ones.
Where in Canton,
In Canton, there are.
they do have.
Sheikh Ali does.
Okay.
he does. Sister Sumera and her husband, they do. The brother who was here with us before,
Halim Naim.
Halim Naim, he does.
Oh, yeah, Halim Naim, he's a PhD, right?
MashaAllah, very
He's
good.
great, yeah.
Sister Alia Azmi, who is with us now, Muslim Family Services, she does, I do. So there are a whole bunch, and very good.
About this, so we can, if we like to attend.
This is what I'm here for. I'm going to train. If anybody wants to deliver it, take it, because I think this needs to be spread all over. You want, we'll train you to the best of it. And I suggest go to other people also and learn from them, because you don't want to hear just one side. Okay? Hear from different people, take the opportunity, because the key here is people go to who? Imams. Imams are busy. They already have too much.
So do these people, they do like, courses, or depends on the person if you would like to learn like individual cases? Do they take
Everyone is different, sister, and they many of them are professionals and they charge. So I do without any charge myself. I think this should be spread all over. This is my goal. That's what I think. And I'm training right now a group from India and Pakistan on the internet. I did another one. There were 2 people from Europe and several from Middle East and whatnot. So I'm trying to spread it as much as I can, teach them. And I'm willing to teach anybody who's willing to learn so that it goes. And you can adjust it, modify. The only thing that I'm asking is, please use the original. If you're using that, then use it in the name of Rahmaa Institute. More than welcome to use any material that I have, but use it, or if you want to adjust it to your, whatever your thoughts are, whatever your cultural reasons, or for whatever reason, do it. All right. These are some of the other things. Gossip is one of the biggest issues in our culture. If your husband and wife is sitting in Imam's office, what happens?
everybody is they have a problem.
They have problems. They have issues. And all right. So our goal is, of course, this is the statistics that there is. Pre-marital actually, this is the statistics from journal. But I can tell you that when I do pre-marital counseling and I follow up with the young people afterwards, then almost 70 to 80% that respond to me say, we have used the material in our marriage, in our conflict resolution, for a certain, so it is helping them. Maybe not 100%, but it is helping them in some aspects. Some do more, some do less, whatever. It's up to them. But 70 to 80%. Yes, sir.
What do you think about now they are talking about halal dating?
Sister, I'll tell you what, and we'll talk about, we can talk about that inshallah in a minute. Rasulullah said, if there's a boy and a girl alone, the third is shaitan. Simple, very straightforward.
There are some people, they don't do it this way. Like they do it like just talking and with the
Sister,
verbal coincide, they present like.
well, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, because when a young man came to Rasulullah and said, I want to get married. He said, you know who you're marrying? Yes, I know. Do you know her? No, I don't know her. Does she know you? No, she does not know me. Go find out about each other first. This is.
Halal dating under what umbrella? There is no such thing.
See, one of the things which is happening these days, I know we are diverging a little bit. One of the things that is happening is that the boy and the girl, they talk over the phone, they talk on the Skype, they talk on whatever means they have, Snapchat, texting, God knows what. When a boy and a girl is texting each other at 2 in the morning, what are they texting about? What are they saying? For 2 hours? Come on. And the parents don't even know. Oh, he's somewhere else. What difference does it make? I'm being very honest, very straightforward. As a matter of fact, some of the organizations here are doing what they call, bring boys and girls together, let them talk to each other and whatnot among the people. Many of the scholars feel it's okay or not, but best, it has its own positives, but it has its own negatives. Just wanted to share.
How about the families? They know like a guy from overseas, and they want their daughter to talk to him, know if he's the right guy for her, and their daughter, she knows her limits. She knows what to, for example, what to talk about and stuff like that. No?
Inshallah, you're right. One of the issues, sister, which is happening these days is when I say intercultural marriages, you might come from the same country, but American culture is different than Arab culture or Pakistani culture or other culture, Far Eastern culture. It's different. And there, one of the sister mentioned a little while ago that husbands usually come and try to impose and do things. It's a cultural thing. So it is something, I'm not opposing it. There are many successful marriages in that respect, many of them, but as long as they understand what they are getting into. Lord. Did I answer your question? All right. So I'm going to go quickly through all of this because I think we mentioned compatibility is one of the key things. Don't you think? Can somebody define compatibility? What is it?
They know each other.
Okay.
Same habits. They grow up in the same probably family.
Okay. Same habits. Educational level.
They kind of, compatibility, I think, is more like, can they fit together and keep going? You could be completely on the same page or different page, but can you keep going successfully?
Very important. Because same education level.
What does that mean?
No, it could be two, Dr.
It's good.
Dennis.
The way they receive information and
there
apply
was-
it and act upon it to the same.
Do they, يعني يقدرون
No, you're right. It all matters. All of these things matter. But she put everything into perspective. May Allah bless your sister. Just the other day, there was a proposal. The boy was 8 years older than the girl. And they thought that was too high of a age difference. Yes? No?
Nowadays,
My
no.
husband's 8 years older than me.
Huh?
My husband's 8 years older than me. The brain.
Material.
It is.
It's hard.
The brainwave. الأفكار. نسيج من الأفكار.
It's the mindset.
Mm-hmm.
It's the
It's
mindset.
a mindset.
Okay?
He just
So all of these things are important to consider, but don't let this thing be the deciding factor only. This is what I suggest. Yes, sister.
Brother Khalid, Sister Dana, she said it's personal preference and it depends on the level of maturity and life experience.
Yep, very important. Do you know historically and scientifically the sisters mature much faster than the boys? A boy which is of age 25, maturity level of a sister who is 20-year-old could be comparable, a 19-year-old.
Yeah.
But it depends.
Yeah, it depends. But I have just listened to a video clip lately. It was last year actually, and it makes perfect sense. Like, there's honestly nothing to do with age difference, where they're coming from. He put the three personalities for guys and the three personalities for girls. If the guy is like a father type, his personality is a given person, versus if he's a mature or he's a child inside him, he left us to receive and not to give. And there is a three personality for the lady, a mom and she's a mature person, or she's a little girl. And then he gave an example of Prince Charles, who have married with Diane. He's inside him, even though he was a prince and he was an old guy, but he's a child inside him. Her personality was like a mature, so a mature person can marry a mature, like a girl and a boy. They are both in the maturity level. They give and take, and their marriage will be successful. But a mature person cannot marry a child like as a guy, because that one he likes only to take and not to give. So at the time she can give, he's enjoying the receiving thing. But when it comes a time when she would like to receive, there is nothing to give. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as that goes. And this is, I think, is the compatibility. I put the compatibility in perspective, where, like, I look now at all the marriages and I see some women, they always complain about their husbands. He's only take, and he never like to give. Versus other people who are giving and taking, you know what I'm saying?
MashaAllah. A very good analysis. Very good analysis. However, Islam is very clear about it. We'll be talking about one of the verses from the Quran, Surah Nisa, verse number 34, and it explains clearly what the sister is saying. Chapter 34, verse number 34. Inshallah. Having said that, what you said, sister, there is no, like I'm an old man. Okay, you think I'm a mature man. But I cry. I cry a lot. When Hazrat, what's his name? Omar was a very stern person, very strong person. When he became the Khalifa, when Quran came into his heart, or Hazrat Ali, they were famous for crying for the sake of others. So all of these traits, sister, that you are mentioning, there is no clear distinction. Everybody have all of them. Some more, some less, and I think that's what the article must be saying.
That is what the mom, there's a woman, this is the personality. It's not as a person, but as a relationship.
Yeah. So thank you for mentioning it. It's very important. Okay. So this is our goal, that we want to let them to lead a successful life. And I'm gonna go through all of these very quickly. We use several things, case studies, role plays, and I'm going to give you, inshallah, from my website, some case studies to go over, inshallah, for the next few sessions, inshallah. Okay?
Khalid?
Yes.
Sister Dana said, Alhamdulillah, you have ability to feel your emotions. Many cultures encourage men to not feel or express themselves, And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us emotions to feel and even like as a release.
Of course. This is important. You know, it's very important. How many of you watch dramas or his shows? Somebody do? Somebody do? I cannot.
Oh yeah.
I just cannot, because they put, and I think it's totally unrealistic that they put into them, and I just cannot, my mind cannot comprehend that. Making somebody such a big victim and another one like a monster all the time, that's what they have. So I just cannot. Okay. This is what it is, and I think we are moving into that direction. Many of the young people are thinking that way. Some of the parents are also being educated into that. So what I'm planning on doing, inshallah, soon we'll be doing a course for the young people in the university. We're looking at probably in Arbor or Canton area. We'll be doing a 1 weekend, 3-day marriage course for the young people. I think what I find sometimes more difficult, and I'll tell you, my own brother, his daughter was getting married, so I sneaked in and I said to them, doing the talking to both the, you know, the groom and the bride, was talking to them, and my brother intervened. What are you doing? Why? He's younger than me, but he said, no, don't do that. No, this is the culture. This is a culture. They don't think that this is appropriate. But within that time, I could figure out that the husband is a very dominating person, okay, but very kind-hearted. But that's a culture. It's a dominating culture. So I told my niece, look here, be ready for that. Alhamdulillah, today she has won his heart because of that advice. And Alhamdulillah, he is. They're living a very happy life, traveling all over and enjoying. You know, they have 4 children now, mashallah, and very, very happy. But you need to understand that in our culture, it's not acceptable. You know, my own brother was like that, and he knows it that I do it, but he didn't want it. Me to.
That's why we need to make workshops for our
Parents.
So for youth, also for our young people, if the husband is like always angry, how can we deal with this case? Or if he is, or if she is something.
Before marriage is better,
Yeah,
you can communicate with them. There's one course that I'm doing right now. This is because of the cultural issues, for sisters only. I prefer to do it both with boys and girls together, but because of the cultural reasons, we're doing it for sisters only. We'll do a separate one for the brothers only. You know, it does not achieve the same results, but alhamdulillah, it's a step in the right direction. All right. So these are some of the elements of counseling. When you do, somehow my slides are all over. I don't know what happened. I apologize.
Case studies and role play and
So participation is the key. If somebody, I'll tell you another thing. There's a couple who came to me for counseling, okay? And I noticed that one of the participants, I was talking to them, but would not respond, and constantly playing with their phone. Okay? What is the message? Not interested. What can we do? I prompted them, I asked them, I requested. Nope. not interested, because it is not in the culture. They think counseling is a very negative thing. And they think, many of the people who come to me, my husband do not want to come to counseling because they think they know. I'm going to conclude this session, inshallah, then we'll take a quick break. Okay? That's it. So we'll have a short break, inshallah. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Is that okay? Any comments, anything in between?
Okay, guys, we'll be back in 5 to 10 minutes. So inshallah, we'll see you then.